Hey everyone, greetings from Brno, from Moravia here in the Czech Republic. I'm so happy to be home. I have actually just spent the past few weeks in Tucson, Arizona in the desert visiting my brother. Quite a long haul from the Czech Republic, I must admit, but it was a wonderful visit. So nice to see my brother. It's been almost 3 years since we've seen each other, so got to spend some quality time, some family time, always important to kind of re-energize little bits. I hope everyone had a great start to the new year. It's almost end of January. I really don't know where this month went. It's flying by already. But I had to, of course, start off this new decade with Merlot, with one of my favorite grapes. So I had a few people ask me, actually, is Merlot grown in South Moravia? It is. Merlot is one of the grapes that are just widely planted throughout the world. If you can name a wine region, my guess is that there's Merlot. Of course, France, Bordeaux, the right bank, Saint-Emilion and Pomerol are the two most prestigious places where Merlot is grown. Some of those bottles can fetch thousands of dollars. And they're reputable, they're age-worthy, and they're delicious. But Merlot is also grown in the US, in Italy, in Spain, in Australia, in Greece, in really any region that grows wine, most likely, like I said, grows Merlot. So yes, Merlot is grown in the Czech Republic. It is grown in South Moravia. The majority of the plantings of Merlot are actually located here, about 30 minutes south of my house. So pretty cool to be able to snag some delicious Merlot right here in the region. And the reason I'm doing Merlot is actually I was inspired in America. I was drinking some delicious Napa Valley Merlot and had that black plummy, kind of fruity, cocoa, more full-bodied character to it. And on the plane ride back, that long plane ride back to Europe, I was really inspired to do Merlot, to talk about Merlot. I think it's a very important grape varietal. And yeah, showcasing two wineries I have so much respect for. These winemakers put their heart and soul into these wines. And so excited to be able to enjoy them and share them with you all. So going into it, the first wine I'm going to be doing, I cannot believe I've never actually showed this winery on one of these videos before. So better late than never. The first one I'm going to do is Ilias Vinařství. So Ilias Vinařství is located in the Pavlov region of Mikulov. Sub-region of Mikulov. Georgios Ilias is the winemaker here. Interesting story behind this winery. So Georgios Ilias does not sound like a Czech name. It is not. It is a Greek name. Georgios Ilias is a Greek origin. His family immigrated to the Czech Republic along with 12,000 other Greeks during their Greek Civil War in the late 1940s. And Georgios Ilias put down roots here. He started a family. He has 6 or 7 children. Really kind man. I had the pleasure of meeting him over the summer. Georgios Ilias has 2 daughters, Clara and Bera, who own a wine bar here in Brno, Clara Bera Wine Bar. And incidentally, I met them. We hit it off. I've done a few wine events there, a few wine tastings. And I'm really just blown away at the entire family's work ethic. They all participate in the winery in some way, either selling the wine, working in the cellar, working in the winery, traveling to do tastings. They all participate, and they've made this winery successful. So I tasted this Ilias Vinařství 2017 Merlot actually in Pavlov with Georgios Ilias and Clara and Bera. And this wine just, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't believe that this Merlot grows in Pavlov. And I was really just taken aback at the quality of this wine. So going into it, let's give it a look. I have some white paper here so you can take a look. So the wine has a ruby core to it, slight garnet rim, but really ruby kind of throughout. The wine sits at 14% alcohol, so fairly typical of Merlot, though. Merlot can obtain those higher alcohol contents if it's left on the vine a little bit longer, higher sugar content, henceforth, higher alcohol content. Merlot is an early ripening grape. It does not demand a really hot climate. You can grow Merlot in a moderate climate with cool soil, like a clay soil, kind of the perfect place for it. So it does grow quite well in the Czech Republic, which offers a moderate to continental climate. So let's give it a smell. So very, very primary fruit flavors coming through, some blackberry, black cherry, kind of a licorice note to it, almost like a fennel seed, licorice, anise note to it, but a savory underlying aroma as well. Almost like if you've had a salami with fennel in it before, that kind of gives off that smell. There's nothing green on this wine though. There's no green bell pepper notes, no pyrazine notes from this, no capsicum notes. It's very plump and fruity and a lot of black plum. There is some of the sweet spice from the French oak that's used on this wine. Ilias Vinařství is using François Ferrer and Seguin Moreau barrels, which are really high ends, quite pricey, but they make these wines really sing. They make Merlot sing. French barrels are where it's at. You get that little bit of sweet spice, a little bit of vanilla influence from the barrels, and a touch of tannin as well. Let's give this wine a taste. So this wine's pretty high in acid. I would put it at medium plus acid. Soft tannins though, medium tannins. The tannins are slightly coarse, but I think that's just due to its young age. I wish I could just fast forward time and drink this wine in 3 years. I think those tannins would integrate a little bit more. I think this wine needs some time to develop. But very fruity on the palate, lots of black plum, black cherry. A little bit of that cinnamon does come through on the palate as well. The fennel is more on the nose than on the palate. The palate does just show really plump primary fruit characteristics, and it's really just a delicious, powerful wine grown right here in South Moravia, right? Merlot, who knew? So going into the second winery that I have shown before, Sonberk Winery, but this Merlot has my heart, this 2015. So Sonberk's 2015 Merlot. Again, this winery is located in Mikulov, just like Ilias is, but this winery is located in a region called Popice, village rather, Popice. This wine was harvested a little bit later in the harvest season. This is Výběr z hroznů, meaning selection of grapes. This wine also does see French barrique as well. 15% alcohol on this wine, so I'm going to proceed with caution. 2015 was a very warm vintage all over Europe, so a lot of those wines are a little bit higher in alcohol. But winemaker here, Oldrich Japal, has been the winemaker for Sonberk for years. He's an outstanding winemaker. He knows his way around the vineyards, around the cellar. They consistently win awards for top winer of the year, top winemaker of the year. I'm astounded by the quality of their wines. Sonberk actually takes its name from where the grapes are grown, the Sonberg, originally German name, modified to Sonberk, meaning sunny hill. So this region is, this village, Popice, quite a small village. I'm from New York, where there's a couple million people. Popice's got maybe 1,000, maybe less. But it sits on this beautiful sloped hillside, and they have about 40 hectares of land. So this is a larger operation. This is, of course, not, to the level of Australia or Spain, but this is a slightly larger winery. I'd call it a mid-sized winery here in the Czech Republic. So going into the color here. So this wine is like violet. I mean, it's ruby, but really leaning towards that kind of purple color. Really concentrated, highly concentrated. I can't really see anything through it. Probably that 15% alcohol. the glycerin in there is taking a whirl because those legs are quite long and extended. It's quite viscous in the glass. Let's give it a smell. So this wine does show that black plum, kind of mocha, cocoa note to it on the nose. It is starting to pick up some of those tertiary flavors from the age. Slight sweet pipe tobacco, kind of a clove as well. But very concentrated, intense nose. I put it at a high intensity on the nose. Very floral aromatics as well. Quite a complex nose. It really is changing. Even the few moments that I'm swirling it in the glass, it's evolving every second. So this wine, in addition to just being beautiful, it also won some of the top awards, this particular vintage, this 2015 vintage, at Prague Wine. So I'm not the only person who digs this wine. Many people do. Let's give it a taste. So just delicious. Really super long finish on this wine. I'd put it at a medium plus body. It's almost full body. Pleasant acidity. The acidity is definitely starting to slow down a little bit, starting to soften a little bit with this bottle age. It's 5 years old. But the tannins are nice and silky. I mean, this wine is like drinking velvet. It is just this smooth, supple, really pleasant, not too aggressively acidic, not too aggressively tannic. Hence, this bottle age on here has a lot to do with that. But some of those wet forest floor on the palate, again, a little bit of that sweet pipe tobacco, black plum, black currant, black cherry, really coming through. A very beautiful, silky, refined wine. I have a feeling that the Ilias is going to be leaning towards this direction as it ages in the bottle. I'm really happy I was able to pick these up, actually. I think that this might be one of the last bottles. I checked Sonberk's website. I don't think they have any more of the 15 vintage. I picked this bottle up at Vinoteca Utri Knížat. Thank you, Pavel. Always good looking out. So they might have some more there. I'm not sure, but really got lucky on this one. With the Ilias Vinařství, I picked this one up at Global Wines, actually just yesterday. I believe this was the last of their 2017 also. They do have the 2018 Merlot, which is delicious as well. But I'm just astounded that such elegant, high alcohol red wines can be produced here in a climate that's quite moderate to continental climate. Really not expecting to have these styles of wine when I first came here to Brno, but so happy to have the opportunity to taste them and enjoy them. These wines would be so delicious with some roast lamb. And yeah, I can only imagine, again, what this Ilias will be in a few years. I think Sonberk still has a few years in this, in their Merlot, this 2015 Merlot. I think it's got probably another 5 years. It's drinking really beautifully right now, though. So that being said, so excited to be back in Brno. Looking forward to many tastings coming up this week and next. So if you are interested in joining me at any of these tastings, pop me a message on here. And I am happy to share all the info with you. But enjoy your Saturday. Cheers to Merlot. Cheers to Moravian Merlot. I couldn't believe it was grown here, and I am so glad I got to meet these winemakers and got to hear their stories and enjoy their wines. So cheers to Merlot. Cheers to you. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the weekend.